Hello and welcome to another Sketchup tutorial. Today I'm not necessarily going to be teaching about the program, but what I'm going to be teaching about is how to export your mesh or 3D model into programs like Blender and in programs like Unity3D. Now a little bit of background on Blender and Unity3D. Blender is a 3D animation and modeling software. It's pretty advanced and it's free, and I suggest everyone learn it, but if you're new to 3D modeling, just 3D modeling, I suggest you get the hang of SketchUp first and then try Blender, because it's not as user-friendly. Also, Unity3D. Unity3D is a software that is free as well, and I'll include the links to both of those websites. And Unity3D is a video game software where you can develop and create video games. And by creating whatever mesh you make in SketchUp, you can put that in Blender and then Blender to Unity3D. So anything you design in SketchUp, you can put in a video game if you just know the proper steps. So there's about roughly 10 steps, but I'm going to do the simplified version of the steps. Let's just erase our lady here, and let's make a, what do we want? Let's make a nice cube. Let's just do that. So let's just go by 5 feet by 5 feet by 5 feet and 5 feet. And we're going to push this up by 5 feet, you guessed it. Then let's make this a little bit more fancier, because I'm feeling fancy. I'm clicking on the offset tool. Just going to click on this and maybe go out by 2 inches. And then I'm just going to do that with all these sides. I'll mention that in a minute here. Actually, let me just redo this again. It's going to do 5 inches. And, you know, once you click 5 inches, you can just double tap on each face and it automatically does it, or it automatically makes it the same measurement. We're going to use our extrude, intrude tool. We're going to go in maybe 2 inches on all sides. Just double click and it'll automatically go 2 inches. So there's this kind of, you know, simple cube. Now let's hit File, Save As. Let's just call it Simple Cube. Now, when you're creating these assets or you're creating these 3D models and meshes, you need to be really organized with that kind of stuff. So I have a folder just for 3D meshes and UV maps and everything like that. Where is it? 3D design programs, save files. So I have these folders here for each different file type. So I'm going to go to SKP. I'm just going to save this simple cube here and hit save. And now we have this saved as a SKP file, so we can open it up again. Now, Blender can't read SKP, but it can import our fellow DAE file. So click on File in the top left corner, go down to Export, click 3D Model, and then you can select DAE or any of these different files, but we're going to go DAE. And you could go FBX and skip the Blender step, but I highly suggest you go through Blender first if you're going to be using the game. If you're going to be using the game engine Unity3D, because there are a lot of powerful there are a lot of powerful things you can do in Blender that can fix your game fix your game objects, like for example UV texturing, and I'll go on that into a completely different tutorial. But for now, let's just get this exported properly. So I'm going to go to my 3D designs. I'm going to go to Blender. Let it start up. And again, in the description, I'll include a link. So here's Blender. We're going to click X and delete so we can get rid of that. We're going to click on our camera here. You got to right click and hold shift and right click on the light. Hit X again and delete so we don't have those anymore. You hit File, scroll down to Import, import DAE, find where you saved your DAE, click on the name simple cube, and there it is. There's our simple cube right there. Now when we import it from SketchUp, we need to join all the pieces together. It kind of comes as separate pieces, not as one solid mesh. So let's scroll to, in the top right here, we have a hierarchy. We have all these different SketchUp pieces. So we're going to highlight each individual one. So just hold down shift while you're doing this. Or what you can do is just click on everything. So like when you've clicked on multiple objects, go to the left side on the Tools tab, click Join. So we've got that. Let's keep adding more of these different parts. This can be a little bit tedious, and sometimes it can be tricky finding how to do that. So you can either click through the hierarchy, or you can click on the different sides right there. Now, in the hierarchy, let's move this over maybe to the center, so when it spawns, it'll work pretty good. Actually, we're going to click on this cube underneath the hierarchy, click on location, type in 0 for each different section right here. So just click on it, type 0, hit enter. Oh, right, we need to delete in the hierarchy last saved SketchUp, because that is it's where it was last put. Or never mind. Anywho, doesn't matter. Let us rename this, because when we put it in Unity, it's going to say SketchUp 0.001. Let's rename this to Simple Cube. Just the same name. Okay. Another important piece that is important for later reference. Go where this, underneath the hierarchy here in the top right corner, where you have all this, click down on the scroll wheel, and move your mouse to the left to keep dragging it over. Okay? Click on this checkered circle. See, this is the Materials tab. The Materials tab is important, very important when you're exporting your model, because every single model has a default material name. So when you start texturing, it'll mess with the texture, and so like say I made two simple cubes and they have two separate textures. If they both have the same material name, then it'll reference off of one of the textures, not each individual one. So just rename it to your mesh. So we're gonna hit X right here, hit New, click on this little tab here, hit backspace, and then name it Simple Cube, because that's just the name of our object. And there we go. Now we're gonna hit File. We're gonna save this first before we put it into Unity. Okay, name it the same exact thing for organization purposes, and save it where you save the rest of your blend files. Save blend. We're going to hit File again. This time we're going to export it as the FBX. Some important key information is why do I go through Blender before I go to Unity 3D, is because to properly texture in Unity 3D, you have to UV map, which you can't do in SketchUp, but you can do in Blender. Also, another reason is renaming the material name, so that way each object has the same material, and that way when you move in your mesh, they're not all separate parts. So, okay, we've done that. Now let's just exit out of here. Okay, we're just going to quit. Alright, now we're going to go to Unity. I'm going to open up Unity real quick. I'm just going to create a new project, just for the heck of it, just for this video. Sorry, I'm trying to do this video a lot faster if I can. It's just kind of hard to go through all the information before. It's hard to go through different information quickly just because there's so many different things you can do. So here's Unity 5.3.1. We're gonna hit New Project in the top right corner here. Name it whatever you want. I'm just gonna name it Simple Cube since this is good for this. Okay, Simple Cube. Click on 3D. You can import different assets. I'm not gonna go into that. So we're gonna hit Create Project. And as it loads, sometimes Unity can be a little slow. That's totally fine. Now it's just creating the new project. And any second. Alright, here we go. Now here's Unity 3D. Now we have this light, this default light, and a default camera. But nothing in here. So let's hit Game Object, 3D Object, and click on Plane. Now we're creating this plane so that way we have our object have a spot, have a spot for it to be on. Just click on the camera, see what this looks like. Okay, so you can kind of see it. All right. So in order to import our object, we go to File, scroll down, or sorry, my bad, go to Assets. Go into Import New Asset. Now go to where you saved your FBX file. Or exported your FBX file, which you exported in Blender. And we're going to find our simple cube. And there it is. And here's our simple cube. We can throw it in. There it is. And we can go to the camera. And we can kind of view it. Right here in this top right corner. So we can view it. There's the this simple cube right there in the game scene. Now I will go into this because I found this to be a trick that took me a while, and it's a small thing, and I guess a lot of people, well, I kept making this mistake. So this object, if I create a game character and I'm walking around, I'll go right through it. Now we can add a component, we can add a box collider, but we want to go, well, what we want to do is click on the simple cube and add a component, and we want to add physics and a mesh collider. The mesh collider is good because it will not go through the plane here, so we can raise it up a bit, and we hit play. Oh, right, my bad. So it's floating in the air. It's floating in the air because we haven't added a rigid body. I'm sorry, I will go through all of this in another tutorial, but for now this is just about exporting and importing. So I just wanted to add this quick little detail because it can be important. Oh, dang it. I fell right through the... What am I doing? What am I doing that is wrong here? Was it this? Where was it? I'm not going to get into this right now. I will later. But here's our cube. And thank you for watching. I will make another section about like how to. I'll make more video tutorials about how to really fine tune how to fine tune everything in this, fine tune sorry, my bad, I didn't sleep very well. Fine tune any SketchUp mesh that comes into Unity. Anywho, thank you for watching. Like, comment, share. Anyway, thank you.